Money. For many, it's just numbers on a screen, bills in a wallet, or coins jingling in a pocket. But money is more than currency. It's a language, a force, a storyteller shaping destinies and societies alike. From the earliest days of barter to the rise of digital currencies, money has told a story far deeper than profit and loss. It has woven itself into the fabric of human ambition, freedom, and purpose, quietly guiding the direction of history and the aspirations of individuals. Imagine a bustling marketplace thousands of years ago. Before coins and credit cards, people traded grain for livestock, pottery for cloth. These exchanges were not just economic, they were personal, built on trust and mutual need. As societies grew, so did the complexities of trade. Shells, beads, and eventually metal coins emerged, each artifact not just a means of barter, but a symbol of value and promise. With every transaction, money began to whisper something new: the possibility of freedom, freedom from hunger, freedom from dependence, freedom to choose your own path. Fast forward to the age of empires. Kingdoms rose and fell, often on the strength of their treasuries. The Roman denarius, the Chinese yuan, the gold florin of Renaissance Florence. Each told a story of ambition and innovation, but also of conflict and conquest. Money became a tool for building roads and nurturing art, but also for funding wars and fueling rivalries. It was a double-edged sword, enabling wonders and disasters in equal measure. Yet throughout history, the true power of money was not in its ability to buy goods, but in its capacity to unlock choices. For the peasant, a handful of coins could mean a winter without hunger. For the merchant, it could open the doors to new worlds. For the philosopher, it could buy the precious leisure to think, to write, to dream. Money was becoming more than a medium of exchange. It was becoming the passport to freedom. But freedom, as history teaches us, does not come solely from wealth. It comes from understanding what money is and what it is not. Money can buy comfort, but not contentment. It can fund experiences, but not guarantee meaning. The great paradox is that while money can liberate, it can just as easily enslave. The pursuit of wealth, unchecked and unexamined, can become a prison of its own making, an endless race that leads farther from the finish line of fulfillment. Consider the story of Andrew Carnegie, born into poverty in Scotland, who emigrated to America and built an empire in steel. Carnegie amassed unimaginable wealth, but his later years were defined not by accumulation, but by giving. He wrote that the man who dies thus rich dies disgraced, and dedicated his fortune to libraries, education, and peace. For Carnegie, money was not the end, but the means, a way to create, to uplift, to give purpose to his own freedom. On the other side of the world, in a small Indian village, a school teacher named Savitri struggled to educate her students with almost no resources. A modest grant, just a few $100s, transformed her classroom, providing books, supplies, and hope. For Savitri and her students, the impact of money was not measured in millions, but in possibilities unlocked, futures changed. Here, too, money was a storyteller, writing new chapters of dignity and opportunity. In the modern era, the narrative of money has grown even more complex. The digital age has brought new forms of wealth and new pathways to freedom. Cryptocurrencies promise decentralization, bypassing traditional gatekeepers. Crowdfunding empowers creators and entrepreneurs to bring bold ideas to life. Around the world, microloans help women start businesses, lifting families and communities out of poverty. But with these innovations come new challenges. The gap between rich and poor grows wider, and for many, the promise of wealth remains out of reach. The relentless drumbeat of consumerism urges us to spend, to acquire, to measure our worth in possessions rather than purpose. Social media flaunts highlight reels of luxury and leisure, fueling a silent anxiety. Am I enough? Do I have enough? In this noise, the true story of money can be hard to hear. Yet if we listen closely, money still has lessons to teach. It urges us to reflect on what we value, to distinguish between price and worth. It invites us to use our resources, however modest, to shape lives, communities, and futures. Money, in its purest form, is potential energy. It is a promise waiting to be fulfilled, a tool waiting to be used for something greater than itself. What then is the story you were never told about wealth, freedom, and purpose? It is this: money is not the villain nor the hero. It is a mirror, reflecting back our dreams and doubts, our fears and aspirations. It gives us the power to build, to share, to transform, but only if we wield it with wisdom and intention. True wealth lies not in accumulation, but in stewardship. It is measured not by the size of our accounts, but by the impact of our actions. Freedom is not the absence of constraint, but the presence of meaningful choice, bias, the ability to align our money with our values and our values with our purpose. And purpose itself is found not in what we own, but in what we give, create, and inspire. Throughout history, those who have understood the deeper story of money have changed the world. They have built schools and hospitals, funded voyages of discovery, and sparked movements for justice. They have used their wealth to lift others up, to open doors, to plant seeds of hope. Their legacy is not counted in dollars or gold, but in lives touched, opportunities created, futures transformed. As you navigate your own journey, earning, spending, saving, giving, remember that money is a tool, not a destination. Ask yourself, what story do you want your money to tell? Will it be a tale of accumulation or of generosity? Of fleeting pleasure or lasting impact? Will you use your wealth to build walls or to open gates? The story of money is still being written every day by each of us. In our choices, our priorities, and our dreams, we give it meaning. And in that meaning, we discover the true purpose of wealth, not just to free ourselves, but to help others find their freedom too. Because in the end, the greatest legacy is not what we keep, but what we give away. And that is the story of money, freedom, and purpose you were never told, but that you have the power to write.